evening, Leroy. How are you? I'm not dying anymore.
Am I running this show because you're
No.
dying? Sam and I were talking before the show, and poor Sam I thought was gonna just not make it at all.
Yeah, I've got I just call it the Christmas cold. I feel like it's going around right now, and I feel like Christmas has something to do with it because everybody's getting together, so it spreads a lot more than that. But I'm hoping at least
You have friends?
family. They technically have to, but to where I'm hoping that when you're at the cold, you get to the point where it's just finally like all coming in, and it's like in your sinuses, and you're just more like snotty and so on. And I'm hoping that's at the point that I'm at right now. And this is not, because sometimes I know when you have the cold where it does like the fake out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, you think you're getting better, and then nope, we're gonna just tank you, and you're actually gonna feel worse tomorrow. So I'm hoping that's not the case, because I've got a busy next 48 hours.
Yeah, you got a few games coming up.
Yeah,
I've got a few games because we had a guy that quit, so now I have to do both girls and boys basketball. But you just have everybody and their mother's tournaments.
Welcome to my life, boys and girls basketball.
Do you do every game though?
I mean, if unless they're playing at the same time, which Sam's not figured out how to.
You can't be in two places at once.
Yeah, which we had somebody
disappointing.
We had somebody a week or two ago who we did a girls game. The girls were playing at home and the boys were playing on the road. And she leaves a comment and she's like, "I really wish I could watch the boys game tonight."
Oh, goodness.
And I almost wanted to respond and be like, "God, like I can only do so much." It's like,
I need more Coug sports, all right?
No, don't you call them that.
Don't you call them that. Sports.
But yeah, so we have a big tournament or it's not a tournament, it's an invitational on Saturday. So for one, there's a big high school basketball game tomorrow night, 2 top 5 region teams playing tomorrow for Grayson County boys, which you'll pick later on. And then on Saturday, Grayson County is hosting the Grayson County New Year's Classic. So it's a girls game, 3 boys games, and then a Grayson boys game. Our coverage is sponsored by Litchfield Tourism.
Oh, okay. Because those big tournaments have like a huge like.
So typically they've gotten the hospital to sponsor it. So it's been the Owensboro Health Holiday Classic or something like that. But this is just the Grayson County New Year's Classic. And our coverage is brought to you by Litchfield Tourism. But so we are having 5 games on Saturday, and I'm doing 4 of them. And then one of them we're letting our crew broadcast. So we got 2 kids that work for us, high school kids, that have an interest in, for some reason, Leroy, in doing this industry. Like, just like, don't.
I can't believe you found people who want to be in radio. That
in
itself is impressive.
Let's ask them Saturday at 7:00
if they still feel that way.
If they still feel that way, because I told them, I said, because what I'm going to do is like our first game of that day, I'm going to have Steven, who typically does the games with me. Well, I'll have him, and then I'm going to have one of them for one of the games, the other one for one of the other games, and then they'll both do one together where I'm not. And I told him, I said, listen, when that happens, I'm going to leave. Like, I'm going to be at the school, but I'm not going to be, you're not going to see me. I'm going to sit up in the corner, frankly, because that'll be my, I need to maybe use the potty. Yeah. I might need to grab a hot dog. I might need to do this. What's a high dollar job, Paul?
Your job. Paul is convinced that you make like 6 figures a year doing what you do, Sam.
Who does?
Apparently you do. I mean, listen, you got season tickets to go watch the football. I mean, listen, you are loaded. Let's not sugarcoat this. I mean, you can get days off. You can go do what you. I mean, you're work from home. Let's be real here. You are clearly loaded.
Yeah. Been about a year now that we've worked from home, right on the dot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's the joke that we were making though, because obviously, if you don't know, my coworker has put in his 2 weeks notice. He's got a job working up north where he'll be doing work with NIL stuff, and my general manager has put out the job opening, and we've got a total of 2 people that have applied for the job so far. So we are.
Is one Paul?
Rolling. No,
is one Paul Reeves?
Paul is not one of them. I can't figure.
Wow,
Paul, we got an opening. Come on, you can be one of us.
Kentucky basketball season tickets my dad pays for the Kentucky basketball season tickets, Paul. So I don't flip the bill.
I was talking about the Bengals. I wasn't talking. I wasn't remembering.
That's my one. But my Bengals season tickets, the way I always consider that is the work I do for center pays for that. So that's how I kind of offset that. Is
hey, whatever you got to tell yourself to make yourself sleep at night.
Listen, sleep.
I know it's rare, but from 2 o'clock to 5 a.m., that's all you, baby.
What, 3 hours at a time? More like, you mean 1 to 1:30, and then 1:45 to 2:15, and then okay. How about
all that prep to just do crappy girls' high school basketball? You are impressive, my friend.
Oh, listen, I got look every game. I got my fancy schmancy sheets, right? You know, like look at all that information. Look at all that information.
It's
right?
It truly is a work of art, my friend.
They don't have any idea. Let's recap the pick contest from last week. First game was America and Leroy.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Yes, Happy New Year. Grayson County against Taylor County. That happened last Friday. Leroy, you picked the Cougs, and America picked the Cougs, but the Cougs fell. Lost to Taylor County. Played just did not play well. One of their players had 37, and then everybody else, I think, remained in Litchfield. It was a rough performance. And then I've
done those games before.
I didn't realize that Taylor County shot 65% from the field. When I was looking at the stats today, they shot 65%, and it was like a 6-point game, which just shows you that, you know, on a normal day, Grayson County probably wins it.
They played their best game of the year.
Yes, Paul, I make those for every single game I do. Luckily, a lot of it is just updating information as it goes through, but I do make them for every single game that I do. Football is a little different, but for the most part, I do something like that. Taylorville played Washington. I picked Washington, and it seems like that game was relatively close, right?
Yeah, the final score was not indicative of what the game was. The two teams were tied at 22 apiece, and Taylorville forgot how to score. Washington outscored them in the third quarter. Mind you, the score was 22 apiece at halftime. Washington outscored them 28-16 in the third quarter. And Taylorville never had a chance. 9 3-pointers. And that's been the death of Taylorville for the last 2 or 3 years, is if you can shoot the three well, you'll beat Taylorville because you're just not going to drive the ball inside against somebody that's 6'4" and 6'1". You're just not going to. They shut down those interior lanes, and it's going to be the three if you're going to beat Taylorville. And Washington, they look like the number 2 team in the country. They really – or the state. Not the country, the state. They look like the number 2 team in the state. They were really good.
We all picked the Bengals, got the point there. We didn't pick the Bears because that game was happening when we were doing the podcast last week, even though I think we all would have gotten a point for picking the Seahawks. But sorry, we weren't that generous. Leroy picked James Franklin and the Penn State-Boise State game. I picked Penn State, and America picked Boise State. So I was the only one that got the point there because technically you picked the coach, and the coach didn't win. The team won. So, no, I'm kidding. We all picked Texas against Arizona State, which was a great game. We can talk about that a little bit later on. I was the only one that picked Ohio State yesterday, and was correct there.
Really
good. No, we all went with Georgia. That didn't happen. Leroy and I both picked Jacksonville. America went with a tie, so Leroy and I got the point there. And Leroy and America got the point for Minnesota against Green Bay. And that one, which Green Bay almost came back and won that game. Minnesota was up big, and then Green Bay made it at least interesting. So the overall standings,
garbage minutes, man.
In first place with 107 points is myself. In second place with 100 points is you, Leroy. And in third place with 88 is America. America's had a rough past couple of weeks. They've really been struggling on getting some of these picks to go through. So we'll continue our pick contest. Looking at it right now, it looks like we've got about 7 weeks left in the pick contest.
Hey, John!
7 weeks left. John is alive.
He's been hospitalized, poor guy.
Oh.
Been battling some stomach stuff going on. So
well, I'm glad that you're alive there, John. So you wanted to do your best stories of 2020.
Yeah, so we're gonna wrap up the top. Sam's gonna give his top 3 stories of 2024. I'm gonna give my top 3. We're gonna see if we have the same. If we pick the same, I know one of mine is not gonna match Sam at all. But
I didn't. What a shock! Kyle comes in here and leaves a comment.
Hey,
Ohio State is.
That's right.
It's been that long. It's been a long time.
Right.
It's been a long time. I just did 3 stories. I didn't necessarily go in like number 3, number 2, number 1. I just did 3. I just did a top 3. I didn't necessarily in no particular order.
Mine aren't in any order.
Okay.
I just picked 3.
Then I guess I'll go first, and I'll say the Olympics, just as a whole, I think have to be one of them. So like Ray Gunn, you got to talk about the breakdancer, Simone Biles being Simone Biles. Basketball, winning the gold medal in a phenomenal basketball game against France. There's so many highlights from that. But I think the Olympics has to be one of the best sports stories or top sports stories of 2024.
Yep.
So that was one of your 3?
Yep. What's the next one?
Caitlin Clark.
Damn. We are on it today.
Caitlin Clark. I think the Caitlin Clark has to be on there for making women's basketball a thing.
Right?
I mean, people watched it.
We talked more about women's basketball this year than I think I've talked about in my entire life.
And that's not just because your wife was holding you at gunpoint to talk about Caitlin Clark.
Correct.
I mean, she deserved it. She did great things. And yeah, so Caitlin Clark absolutely has to be one of the top stories of 2024. So is this the one you think we're separate on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's got to be something hockey related then.
Nope.
Interesting.
Go ahead.
I just put the college football playoff becoming a thing.
Yeah, a shout out. I know it doesn't matter, but listen, Indiana going undefeated. I know we can talk about everything, but listen.
Well, they just made the playoff. They didn't go undefeated. They lost to Ohio State.
All right, undefeated in the regular season, but
no, they lost to Ohio State in the regular season.
They lost. That's right. But regardless, Indiana having a great season. Listen, this is a team that just doesn't win in college football.
Is that your third?
No.
Oh.
No. I was just, you were talking about the college football playoffs, and I was just adding on to that, saying, teams like Indiana, SMU, big deals for them. Arizona State playing fantastic.
Did you see Simone Biles say it would be greedy of her to compete anymore? Arrogant or just poorly spoken?
I did not, but is it arrogant if she's right?
I mean, it's like I loved I don't know if you saw this. So Brian Callahan, who was the Bengals offensive coordinator, now the head coach of the Titans, he was doing a press conference when the Bengals were playing the Titans, and he said something like, I look forward to seeing Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase in the Hall of Fame someday. And one of the reporters in Cincinnati asked Joe Burrow, saying, what does it mean to hear your former coach say he's ready to see you in the Hall of Fame or something like that? And Joe Burrow said, yeah, he's probably right. and I love that.
Worse. That's worse than Simone Biles.
I love. See, that's why I don't think arrogance is necessarily a bad thing when you can back it up, and Simone Biles can straight up back it up. So because of that, I don't know that you can necessarily be arrogant.
Yeah,
arrogance isn't stating facts. Arrogance is when you can't back it up.
And the thing is like nobody's beaten her, and not just that, nobody's come close. The one
Brazilian girl, I think might have gotten her one of the medals, but yeah, she's just incredible. What's your third?
Scotty Scheffler and his golf playing this year. I mean, that was quite a month of Scotty Scheffler. Listen, winning, getting arrested, having a baby. I mean, listen, this guy did everything in a span of about 2 months. So, and capitalized probably one of the best seasons we've seen in golf since Tiger Woods was premier Tiger Woods. So Scotty Scheffler is my other top story from 2024.
That's a good one. Old Scotty Scheffler. Put Louisville on the map, right? I'm going to try and figure out I was trying to see if AI could make me like a little jingle or something for this, because we have segment 2 or episode 2 of Paul's Stat of the Week.
Paul's Stat of the Week.
I don't. Nope.
Well, then come up with your own, jerk.
Didn't do it. Are you ready for Paul's Stat of the Week? Caleb Williams. No, I'm kidding. It's not. I'm kidding. It's not. Yeah, it is about Caleb Williams. No. Puka Nacua joined Hall of Famers Jerry Rice and Lance Allworth as the only wide receivers with at least 160 receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown, and 1 rushing touchdown in a single game. That rushing touchdown was the first for the Rams this season that wasn't scored by Kyren Williams.
That is a heavy, heavy stat right there.
And if you're in the conversation as a wide receiver with Jerry Rice, it doesn't matter what you did. Yeah, that's a pretty good combination to be in with.
He's gonna be probably one of the top guys drafted next year in fantasy.
I mean, Jamar Chase 1, Justin Jefferson 2. You can maybe make an argument that Puka's 3.
If he can stay healthy.
Yeah, and I mean that
he's running into the same issues as some of the other guys have had.
It's an impressive stat though. I mean, it's like the whole
crazy.
Like right now, Jamar Chase is almost assuredly going to be only the 5th or the 6th player in the history of the NFL to win the Triple Crown as a wide receiver. Yeah. Most catches, most yards, most touchdowns.
No, he was only impressive when I faced him in fantasy football. That was the only times he was ever really, really good. So
mm-hmm. It was at one of the weeks that he had like 50 points against you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Of course it is.
No, my hatred is Josh Allen, who decided to just crap the bed against the Patriots. That will be my forever.
See, I was in the fantasy football championship of mine, and the week of CeeDee Lamb decides, nope, we're not playing anymore, so I'm screwed there. And then James Conner got hurt, and so I was screwed. And then the guy I played still had like 150 points, and I still scored like 120. So I still had a big game without some of my best players. So it just showed that I was a couple plays away. How much college football playoffs have you watched?
More than I thought I would. Let's just put it that way. More than I thought I would. I watched quite a lot of the Arizona State Texas game.
I did too. It was a great game.
Which was fantastic game. And I watched a little bit of the Notre Dame game against Georgia Tech.
And see, I didn't get to watch any of that one. I've been too busy prepping most of the day. Did you not watch any of Ohio State, Oregon?
I turned it on, saw what the score was, and was like, oh, I'm going to go watch something else.
It was an ass kicking.
If I can avoid watching Ohio State, I do so.
Mm-hmm.
I know Heimsis is in here sometimes, and he'd yell at me for saying that, but I'm just not.
Is Scatabo draftable in fantasy next year? It depends on where he goes.
He was.
It just depends where he goes, John. Just depends where he goes.
I think he'll probably be a big pickup for dynasty leagues.
Yeah, it'll just depending on where he goes. That's the biggest thing on where he ends up. They need a running back. Ashton Genty still is going to be the first running back taken. There's no question on that.
Even and the thing is that there was arguments over whether or not he had a bad game, whether Penn State shut him down and things like that. But if you watch that game, Penn State was still having 2 or 3 guys that were trying to get him down every single time. So I still think you're right. I still think you can talk about he played against a bigger school and they shut him down. Yeah, but it took them a lot to be able to shut him down. He's going to be all right in the NFL.
Yeah, without question for that. So now you're down to the final 4. You've got Notre Dame, Texas, Penn State, and Ohio State.
Right. And Ohio State and Notre Dame, in my tidbits, Ohio State and Notre Dame have opened as favorites.
So you have it. What is it? No, it's Penn State against. No, I don't even remember.
Notre Dame is taking on Penn State, and Ohio State is taking on Texas. So both Ohio State and Notre Dame are opening as the favorites in that one.
Kyle says, every minute of every game, I'm not convinced if J.J. McCarthy stayed, Michigan wouldn't have beaten several of these playoff teams. Definitely changes coming to college football seeding and setup. Yeah, I'm because that's been, and I know I was expecting you to have some shot at the SEC based on your name there. And the biggest issue with the SEC this year has been the lack of quarterback.
I was just going to let it. I was just going to let
has been the lack of quarterback play.
Yeah,
and I mean Georgia, it hurts when when your starting quarterback who's going to go to the NFL gets hurt. Now Carson Beck hasn't necessarily been great this year. I don't know that he would have made a difference today, but that hurts. Quinn Ewers has had his own issues, but I mean Alabama, disappointing season from what's his name that's now headed to the draft. Tennessee, young quarterback and so on. But you've seen that when the SEC has been dominant, they've had a lot of these really good quarterbacks recently.
Yeah.
And that's been the biggest issue this year is that the best quarterbacks are more towards the SEC, towards the Big Ten.
Are you surprised at the number of blowouts in the college football playoffs so far?
Not really. Not really. Now, I didn't expect Ohio State to steamroll Oregon.
Well, I didn't expect that. Didn't they just play like a couple weeks ago and Oregon beat them?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's been probably 2 or 3 months or 2 months ago or something like that. But
Midway
yes,
through the season?
Oregon beat them. Now, it was in Eugene, and it was a back and forth game.
Okay.
But I just felt pretty confident that Ohio State was going to win that game. I'm fascinated, and I was talking about this with somebody yesterday, is, one of the common threads people talk a lot about in baseball now is the bye
friendly
beneficial?
Correct.
And we've seen not really entirely sure. I'm interested now to see whether it is. When you come into these, because of the top 4 teams, didn't all of them lose?
All of them are out.
Now, Boise State and Arizona State, should they really have been top 4 teams?
Probably not.
Okay. But Oregon should have, and Georgia should have.
Arizona State had a fantastic season.
They did.
Arizona State had a fantastic season. Boise State, fine. You can talk about their competition, whatever. But Arizona State, I mean, listen, they you could easily make an argument that they absolutely deserved a top four seed. But you're right, and Kyle's 100% correct. I think you're going to see this was a trial run. We saw what happened with it. I'm really interested to see what this committee does moving to next year with some of these schedules and seeing who they favor and who they don't favor. Because at the end of the day, we know this, right? There is a definite popularity in this tournament, right? Teams that have been there more will get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to more agreeability from the College Football Playoff Committee, right? A team like Alabama can lose 3 games and still be talked about in the College Football Playoff, where as a team like Northwestern, right, they lost 3 games. It doesn't matter if they played the top 9 teams in the country and beat them. They'd still be out of it. So I think there's going to be some real big discussions over the offseason and moving into next year about how this is going to go and how this is going to move forward with the College Football Playoff and seeding. Seeding is going to become such a big storyline. Should they have reseeded after the first round?
I don't know if they will or not.
No, but what I'm saying is...
No. I'm saying, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Oregon's probably saying, well, I guess Oregon still probably would have gotten...
Yeah, but that's going to be some of the questions that are going to be asked this offseason is, what are some ways that we can make these games more competitive? What are some ways that we can... And I don't know if there's necessarily a right answer for that.
Yeah. I don't know. Without question, it'll be interesting to see how it goes along. Do you have any?
I do too, Paul. I hate it.
Do you have any tidbits?
I do. Let's get to it. I have a really interesting. So Jimmy Carter passed away this week at the age of 100. I have a really interesting Jimmy Carter stat. And Sam, maybe you saw this, but I cracked up so bad when I saw this stat. So Babe Ruth hit more home runs in Jimmy Carter's lifetime than any current active player. Giancarlo Stanton leads with 429. Babe Ruth hit 430 homers after Jimmy was born. So it just goes to show you how long Jimmy Carter was alive and how much in the last 100 years, how much baseball he's seen. I think I saw a stat somewhere that said at the time that he retired, Jamie Moyer faced like 8.9% of all Major League Baseball hitters. Just crazy, weird.
Pitched till he was like 60 too. Yeah, that helps.
Crazy, weird stats. The Big 12 commissioner has gone on record to say that the standards for the officiating crews are crucial after a missed targeting call in the Arizona State game that would have given Arizona State really good field position and a chance to win the game. The Pro Bowl players have been picked. Do we care?
No.
Do we care about the Pro Bowl?
No.
All right.
Nope.
What would make you care about the Pro Bowl again?
Nope. I mean, the only way you're going to get that to be at least somewhat interesting, and this will never happen, is if you, and I mean, maybe this does, is if they add an 18th game, which I think we're going to have, they will probably have a second bye week for each team. And what if they do week 10 as the NFL bye week.
And Sam wouldn't know about that, Paul.
And they make the NFL bye week, week 10, and make it an all-star break and put the Pro Bowl that week. Now, I don't think that'll ever happen because also then you're only making a Pro Bowl for 9 games or something, but I just don't think that it'll ever be relevant whatsoever.
All right. Other news that we have for you. Jets have interviewed Ron Rivera for their head coaching position and Louis Riddick for their general manager positions. We talk about the Bears and how much of a joke the Bears are, and I don't disagree. I don't disagree that the Bears are an absolute laughingstock. But the Jets are pretty much right there. The Jets are pretty much right there. Also, Kyle made a good point. Money. A lot of this seeding stuff ends up being about money. Sam, you and I have had that conversation multiple times that money trumps all when it comes to the college football playoffs and everything else. And then that's a big part of it. Let's talk records. Saquon Barkley sitting this week. He will not break the record set by Eric Dickerson for most rushing or for
most rushing yards to the Steelers.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But there's been a big argument on social media about 16 versus 17 games. I've had the argument with John before about 16 versus 17 games because there's a chance that Caleb Williams might get to 4,000 yards. And, well, he's got an extra game to do it. Yeah, well, OJ did in 14 games as opposed to Dickerson's 16. So if we're really talking about records, OJ holds the record, right? So my question to you is this. How important is this 18th game? Does it matter for these records?
For the 17th?
Yeah, 17, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I see why the Eagles are resting Saquon. And I mean, Saquon's at 102 yards short or something like that?
Yeah.
Like, because what happens if he gets 75 yards and then tears his ACL?
They got a whole extra game. Yeah.
Well, but then again, do you punish Saquon because he has a whole extra game? It's not his fault. There's a whole extra game.
I know.
So, I don't know. I think
I don't want to talk about that game, Paul. Stupid. Football's stupid.
Was 10 in a row?
Yeah, and we're going to lose this week too. So, Denver has been awarded the 16th franchise in the National Women's Soccer League for a record $110 million. Sportico reported Thursday that not only is that expansion fee more than double the previous Women's Soccer League record, it would also be the largest ever paid for a U.S. women's professional sports team. Now, Sam, I know how much you think soccer is going to replace hockey, so I fully expect you to go out there and support your women's soccer leagues.
Well, Cincinnati was rumored for a long time to be that 16th team. And do you know who one of the people that was getting into the ownership was Caitlin Clark.
Oh, that makes sense.
And all of a sudden, like in the last 6 weeks, Denver kind of came out of nowhere, and all the people that were following this were kind of like, "What? Denver?
What?"
Because Cincinnati was expected to be like it was like the worst kept secret that Cincinnati was going to get this, and now they're not. So it's just kind of interesting. And then when Caitlin Clark became a part of it, they're like, "Oh, obviously we're going to do this." But Louisville as a team, so yeah.
ESPN has released their top 10 starting rotations from best to worst. Can you tell me who you think is the number one team on this list?
In May, I could maybe answer this for you, but I'm in football mode. Is it Dodgers?
It's not. Dodgers are number 4.
Who are they saying?
Seattle. Seattle is number 1 on there. As always, good pitching and no hitting whatsoever. So top 10, number 10, Cubs. Number 9, Astros. Number 8, Rangers. Number 7, Twins. Number 6, Diamondbacks. Although no Corbin Burns was on there, so they might be higher. Number 5, Yankees. Number 4, Dodgers. Number 3, Braves. Number 2, Phillies. And number 1, Mariners.
Interesting.
Free agents remaining pitching-wise, top free agents that are remaining pitching-wise, Roki Sasaki, who's down to 6 teams, Flaherty, and Scherzer. Although Scherzer's 42?
He's older than you almost.
He's got to be pretty close.
Uh-huh.
Pretty close. I wonder how old he really is. Let's see.
42 probably would be my assumption. Paul disagrees on you having Braves in that list.
That's ESPN's list, my friend. But he is 40. He was born in 84, so just a couple years younger than me. All right. Alabama's Jalen Milroe and Jihad Campbell have declared for the NFL draft. Milroe interests me because, let's face it, this quarterback year is weak. So some team's going to really, really strike out by picking up Milroe. But yeah, I love this time of year because all of the weird. Well, I even saw Deion Sanders to the Patriots in a quick trade that would send May to a different team, and they would draft Shedeur Sanders. So I love this time of year because this is the most wild accusation trades are going on. It's so
no, Deion's going to the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are going to draft Shedeur.
Paul would lose his mind. Paul would lose his mind. Yeah, I saw McCarthy to the Bears.
Or maybe does Deion go to the Bears and the Bears then trade Caleb Williams to the Cowboys and Caleb Williams becomes the Cowboys quarterback?
Like I said, when they said McCarthy to the Bears, I will turn in my fandom so quick.
Wow.
Your head will spin.
Wow.
Another interesting topic that I want to talk about because everything's working for me today, so I've got like a ton of stuff to talk about. Cam Ward quit during his game. Cam Ward broke a record and then immediately quit at halftime. Now, I know my thoughts on this, but Sam, is there any way you can defend this?
He's going to be a top 5 pick, so why the hell would he play?
You're such a Okay, yeah, but what does that say to NFL teams where we've seen NFL players quit during games?
That he's intelligent because he knows he's going to be a top 5 pick and he doesn't want to tear his ACL in the second half of a game and go from being a top 5 pick to a second or third round pick.
Ah, yes. Nothing says I love you, teammates. Good luck than saying deuces.
And I think, I bet that was playing the entire time. And I can almost guarantee his teammates. Like, I mean, it's not like it was a guy who's going to be a 4th round pick that did that.
Yeah.
I mean, he is going to be a top 5 pick.
I don't care.
And
I don't know how you don't play in the game. Then don't play in the game. You were greedy. You wanted a record. That was greedy. Forget it.
He didn't
play at all. Don't play at all.
He wasn't Dylan Gabriel and quit at halftime of the Ohio State game yesterday because he was down by 30.
And that's the other absolute stupid one.
So I have no issue with it at all.
Of course you don't. All right. That is my tidbits for today.
Of course you don't.
We do have our
yeah, let's go to our fast food. Let's come back to that here tournament. Because we got to cue the music for everyone's favorite segment. It's time for Leroy's Logos.
I hate this one. You made it tough this week because I did well last week, didn't you?
Well, you got 1 out of 4 last week, so.
Yeah, because you made it ridiculously hard because I did well the week before. 2
out of 4 that week, so. Here we go. This week's Leroy's Logos. I've got 3 college logos for Leroy. It's easy. The game is relatively straightforward and easy. You just got to tell me what school this logo is.
I got Kyle here, though. I'm doing all right.
Listen to what Paul says. He's telling this to you, Leroy. Play the game and don't be a...
No, he's telling it to these idiots.
No, I think he's telling that to you. I think he's telling that to you.
You are defending it. You're the only one defending them.
Oh, I guarantee I'm not the only one defending it. Go on to social media. I'm sure people are with me there. 3 college logos. You got to tell me what it is, and then there's also a theme between them. Leroy, you also have 1 lifeline that you can use at any point. Would you like 1, 2, or 3?
2.
Number 2. Number 2 is Leroy's logos for this week.
Ooh.
Sean is ready.
Ooh.
Alrighty, comment section. If you have a guess too, you can drop it in there, and Leroy at one point can use his cheat should he want to use it. You got a thought on this?
Absolutely not. Boston College colors, but that's not a Boston College logo. Baylor's green.
Alrighty. Do you have a guess? Or would you like to use your lifeline?
No, I don't want to use it yet.
What are you thinking?
I'm not thinking anything. I don't know that logo at all. I'm trying to think of B, like cities and B schools.
You know what? Since I'm a nice guy, I'm going to give you Sean's guess.
Hey, Sean. Appreciate you, bud.
And I'm going to tell you he's not right.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I would have. I think I would have figured that out. But that's fine.
Alrighty. What's your guess?
It's wrong, but maybe they updated their logo. Boston College. Where's
Boston College is your guess. You are incorrect. Incorrect. Right. The comment section gets it though.
Yeah.
John says Brown. That is correct.
No, I didn't think.
Kyle said the Brown Bears, and that is correct as well. My heart agrees. He says, my heart agrees with Paul and Leroy. My brain doesn't. Screw the bowl game.
Oh, Kyle, you're one of my favorite people, bud.
Paul says Brown, and so on. So it is the Brown Bears here.
Oh,
you should have taken the lifeline.
I didn't even think about Brown, man. I didn't even think about Brown, man. Let's go one.
He's going to go with number 1 for this one. What college is this?
The Rise of the Phoenix? Is that
Do you know this one?
No, absolutely not.
Oh.
Though the logo looks really familiar. Is that the Gryffindor Legends?
Gryffindor's just Gryffindor.
They don't have a thing?
I mean, it's a lion, but they're not
green,
like...
It's green, so it'd be Slytherin.
Yes, you are correct.
I'll go with the audience on this one. Let's see if I can't get a little bit of help here today.
Okay. John is guessing University of Phoenix. Kyle just says, oh, Lord. And Sean says Trojans. And Paul says Leroy should know this.
I should know this? Is this a Chicago school?
I don't know. Paul's just saying you should know this.
I'm not asking you, Sam.
Well, I can't tell you if it's a... Paul says Wisconsin something. I can't remember the rest. Alrighty. That is your cheat. Do you have a guess?
All right, well, I'm going to go with Green Bay University.
Green Bay. Are you locking that in?
Sure.
Uh-oh. My computer's lagging a little bit.
Buzzer,
my computer's lagging a bit.
Oh!
That is correct.
Oh, Paul,
your cheat works. Your cheat works. That is Green Bay, the Phoenix. Wow. Kyle came in at the last second and said the University of Southeastern Massachusetts Fighting Green Falcons.
See, that's a much better answer right there.
The Green Bay Phoenix, and the final one for this week's Leroy's Logos.
Oh, I don't know any of these. This is so horrible. It really is a majestic lion, though.
It's a cool-looking lion. John says, clearly I was right. Alrighty. You got a guess?
Is this Detroit Lions? Detroit?
I don't think that's the same colors, but...
Well, I mean, I've seen them wear all black. I've seen them wear white. I mean, we're just exploring all kinds of things going on right now.
You got a guess?
Nah.
Yeah.
If you gave me 150 schools, I wouldn't be able to get that one right.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Southeastern Louisiana. Southeastern.
How is that Division I school?
It is. It absolutely is. Absolutely is a Division I school. The Southeastern Lions. They've been a Division I school too for a while. They're just trashing everything, so nobody knows who they are. So, Leroy, what is the theme for this week between the Green Bay Phoenix, the Brown Bears, and the Southeastern Louisiana Lions? What is the theme for this week's? Kyle guessed the North Texas University Lions.
Are they all schools on water?
I don't know. Where is Brown? Brown is in Providence, Rhode Island.
Aha!
I mean, isn't Providence like more towards the center of the state, though?
Yeah, but it's an island.
Yeah, Rhode Island isn't actually an island. Yeah, John Grapple. Sean says schools that suck. I mean, technically
all
accurate.
Schools with losing records in basketball.
Green Bay Phoenix, the Bears of Brown, and the Lions of Southeastern Louisiana.
What's the theme, my friend?
It's the NFC North. Green Bay, Bears, and Lions.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
I'm running out of theme ideas. My creativity. I've been sick, Leroy. My creativity's not necessarily there.
It's so good, though.
That is the theme for this week. All righty.
Oh, goodness.
Let's jump into some play clock here, where we have 40 seconds to answer a question the other person does not know anything about. Would you like to ask or answer?
I will answer first.
They're all schools that suck worse than Caleb Williams. Should have made it a Viking instead of a Bear.
Minnesota State University? I would have gotten that.
Mankato?
Yeah.
Except they're the
they're the Mavericks.
Mavericks, yeah. If given the opportunity, would you be immortal?
Yes. I've gone over this, and everyone's like, you'll be so tired of living. No, I won't. I'll just every 100 years move to a different place and just be there for 100 years or whatever. No, I would like it. I'd be all right with it. I'd be here until the earth didn't exist anymore. It'd be completely fine with me. It'd be really, really interesting to see like how society evolves long after everyone's gone. And I don't know. I've done this before. I've weighed this option before, and 100% I would be immortal. Yeah. Not even a question. The red pill versus the green pill, I'll take the red pill all day long. So,
but could you watch your kids pass away?
Yeah.
Just the way you said that, yeah.
I just have more of them. It'd be fine, man.
The question though is for those that are immortal, like at what point, like, are you immortal but you're 90? Once you hit 90, you're 90 for the rest of your life?
Oh, see, I thought it'd be like 40 forever.
And see that's kind of the question. Kyle says, I'll make
Kyle,
more kids.
Kyle knows.
See, I don't think I would.
If I was 90, no, I'd just take my death. But at 42, absolutely. I'm having fun right now. I feel great right now.
Paul says I take that deal, but it would be torture at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, there are some definite negatives to it, but I think the pros outweigh the cons.
I know you love the good philosophical questions.
I hate them, but yes, that's fantastic.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm pulling a Sam and asking you for a Mount Rushmore. You ready?
You're not allowed to do this.
Well, every once in a while, I get stuck on ideas. And I want you, because I know how much of a movie buff you are, to give me the Mount Rushmore of Disney villains. The Mount Rushmore of Disney bad guys. Once you're done coughing, you can give me the Mount Rushmore of Disney bad guys.
Ooh. Yeah, this cold is kicking my butt. There's no question about that. Oh, gosh. See, I want to go like, I always like, was it Randall, who was from Monsters, Inc.? I'm counting Pixar in this. Pixar's Disney, so I'm going to count Randall from Monsters, Inc. I was in The Beauty and the Beast as a play, so you got to throw Gaston in there, as a classic one. Al from Toy Story 2. I'll throw him in there. And, oh, gosh. been so long since I've seen some of these Disney movies now. Scar.
Yeah. The girl from Finding Nemo who pokes the presses on
yeah, what's her name? I don't even remember. Can you say Darth Vader? No. Darth Vader doesn't count because when he was created, he was not a Disney.
Yeah.
When he was created, he was not Disney. At least in my eyes there. If you could change one law, what are you changing? Darla was her name.
Good grief. If I could change one law, what am I changing? Oh my goodness. I can't. It's not Dory. It's the other. It's the girl that gets the. Darla. Yeah, Darla's the name of the girl. Yeah. If I'm changing one law, I am. Oh, that's a good question, Sam.
And
holy cow! I've used
40 seconds stump.
I've used up my whole 40 seconds, man.
Sean says murder. Here, you know what? I'll be nice, and I'm going to reset your clock to a random point, and we'll keep it going. You got 27 seconds now.
Nudity not being a crime? That's probably what I would. It's probably what I would go with as far as nudity being allowed. Yeah, I know you get your 60 and 70-year-olds fine, but I'd be all right with nudity not being a crime. That's my law that I'm changing.
What a terrible answer.
Okay, what answer are you giving?
Not that one.
Fine. What answer are you giving?
I mean, like, let's make cocaine legal.
Okay.
Like, no.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Listen, right on cue. Sean said the same thing.
I couldn't think of anything.
I thought you would have said puff puff.
Oh, that's already legal in my state, so I didn't think about that.
Oh, okay, yeah. That is true, John. He can show his quote-unquote finger. That's the last thing we need.
No, this isn't the time for them to change your catheter. Shut up.
Is he in the hospital right now watching us?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Nurse is probably going to come in and be like, what in the hell are you watching? So Kyle agreed and said marijuana be legal. Yeah, I feel like that's probably a better. And I guess I took this off the screen, but I still have a question to answer, don't I?
Yeah, there's still one more.
Okay.
What side of the football in general is easier to play, offense or defense?
Good vibes, your voice. Paul says no taxes. Interesting.
Oh,
interesting. Interesting. Easier to play. Gosh, that's so. I mean, I think probably this day it's offense because the game has been now catered more towards offensive players, and it's becoming harder and harder to play defense based on the way the game is being called. Like you're having more of these targeting calls, you're having more of these unnecessary roughness calls, and defenseless receivers. Pass interference is becoming more and more prevalent. That, and I mean, as a DB, how the hell are you going to cover Jamar Chase? How the hell are you going to cover Justin Jefferson?
Not that, not just that. How are you going to tackle legally?
Yeah, it's now with hip drops being gone as well. So I think offense is definitely easier. I mean, defense, like I think corner next to quarterback. I think quarterback's still incredibly difficult, but corner is probably the second hardest position to play.
It's so funny because I'll watch some of these games and I'll just be like, yep, I'd be a horrible ref because that definitely looked like pass interference to me, or that definitely looked like a penalty over and over again. I'll just be like, oh, they didn't call nothing. Like, bro, it's all over him. It's just good hard contact, you know?
It's just called Caleb Williams can't throw. That's the reason why, right?
That's true.
Sorry.
He did. It's funny because like they were interviewing him and they were like, they were trying to get him to throw his offensive line under the bus. And he was like, no, I'm guilty of those sacks just as much as everyone else is. So,
like Paul said, you know what's about to happen on offense, which is true as well. Like, you know what's supposed to happen. And so
right.
Time for your fast food bracket.
All right. We've got our fast food bracket, round 2 of our fast food bracket here. And if you missed last week, I will give the winners and the losers so that we can move on to round 2 here. All right. The first matchup was Chick-fil-A versus Whataburger. Chick-fil-A won. And the next matchup was Chipotle versus KFC. And thanks to a coin flip, if I remember right, KFC won.
No, I think I was the only one that went Chipotle.
Oh, were you? All right. So for this first matchup, we have number 1 Chick-fil-A taking on number 9 KFC.
Now this is where I put on my key hat.
Okay.
And
now you're running KFC.
Yeah, let's go, Colonel. I'm picking KFC over Chick-fil-A in that realm because the famous bowl is elite.
The famous bowl of chicken.
The famous bowl, no, with the mashed potatoes, the gravy, the popcorn chicken, the corn, the cheese.
Yes.
That is elite. And comment section, remember, you're allowed to vote on this too. Between KFC or KFC.
How far away are you from a KFC right now?
6 minutes? 6 minutes?
I mean, I got one in my town too, but probably about 7 minutes away. But I don't know. I just find it hysterical.
Yeah, it's probably there's one in town, so I can probably be there. Kyle's voting for Jesus Chicken. Now, listen, Kyle, I'm from Kentucky, so that's classified as KFC because that is our chicken.
Jesus Chicken is Chick-fil-A. Okay. They're the only place that closes on Sunday. Don't start with me.
John's taking KFC. It's 2-1. Who are you taking?
I am taking Chick-fil-A.
So it's 2-2. Paul's taking Chick-fil-A to make it 3-2 for Chick-fil-A in that realm. John's in the hospital, though, so don't his votes count for 2.
Christy disappeared, so she would vote for KFC. So you got to figure out a way to get Christy in here.
Christy! If I shout loud enough, she'll be able to hear me from down the road.
Let me see. I'll shoot her a message and see if I can't get her on here for you.
Oh, there she is. There she is. KFC. So we're tied at 3. We're tied at 3. We're tied at 3. We'll give it another 10 seconds before we go to the coin flip because it's 3-3 right now.
Oh.
It's 3-3. All righty. You ready? So which is which, Leroy?
All right. So Chick-fil-A is the number 1 seed, so they're the home team. So KFC is tails.
Wait a second. Sean says Chick-fil-A sucked so bad. Is that a vote for KFC then?
He didn't actually vote though.
Okay,
he
Sean.
Said Chick-fil-A sucks.
So we have a buffet at our KFC, Kyle. Christy says KFC, damn it. So she's doubling down. So, Sean, are you then voting for KFC? He is voting for KFC. So KFC
picks up the upset. KFC
Chick-fil-A.
Upset. Oh, my goodness. All right. Next up, Jersey Mike's upset Culver's. Jersey Mike's was ranked 13th. They upset Culver's. And Taco Bell upset Five Guys. And I think mainly because Five Guys was expensive as all could be. All right, so our matchup is actually a big one. Number 13, Jersey Mike's versus number 12, Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Yeah, Jersey Mike's is probably my favorite Subway place, honestly. My favorite sandwich place, but I can't go against
Is there anything you're voting Taco Bell over Taco Bell?
In this list, there would be only one, and it's already been eliminated.
Are you Burger King?
No, Panda Express.
Really?
I love Panda Express. They're fantastic. Okay.
So John and Sean are both going for Jersey Mike's. We are both going for Taco Bell. So it's 2-2 right now. Christy's voting for UGG. Don't think that's an option. But we're going to have to wait here and see what Paul and Christy end up voting for, or if we're going to have to go to the old coin flip. I think I've only had Jersey Mike's like 1 or 2 times. Kyle says,
I love
y'all are playing with my emotions, and I don't appreciate it. I love
Jersey Mike's. Fantastic sandwich shop.
But you can only pick one.
They're the best one available. But listen. Double-decker Taco Supreme, baby.
Paul's voting for Jersey Mike's. Christy's voting for Taco Bell. So, Kyle, you're the one that's going to have to break it. KHG.
Kyle, what are you doing?
What are you voting for? Jersey Mike's or Taco Bell? Gosh, if Taco Bell gets eliminated, I'm from Jersey. I have to vote for Jersey. Y'all need some real talk. Listen, I don't deny I had Taco Bell yesterday.
Hey.
Listen, have you had the nuggets yet, Leroy?
I have not.
I had them yesterday.
And what'd you think?
I mean, they're chicken nuggets.
The chicken nuggets.
Yeah, I had some drinks the night before, so I was like, what better to cure a drink?
You were feeling good.
Kyle votes for Taco Bell. Taco Bell moves on. Taco Bell moves on. Okay, what's the next matchup?
All right. Next up, McDonald's beat Panda Express.
As it should have.
And Wendy's beat Burger King, much to Sam's
as it should have.
Much to Sam's pleasure. Yes.
So
it's number 2 McDonald's versus number 7 Wendy's.
Tell you, for one, who the hell seeded Wendy's as a 7?
What do you want from me? Don't start, Gormley.
So McDonald's against Wendy's. God, this is a Final Four. This is a Final Four matchup.
Yes, because Wendy's social media team immediately lifts them up about 5 notches.
So for me, I'm giving my vote for Wendy's, and here's why.
Oh,
Wendy's
boy. Okay.
Wendy's has the best fast food sandwich, and that is the Baconator.
Well,
yeah. The Baconator is the supreme sandwich. So because of that, I give my vote to Wendy's. John is picking Wendy's as well. He's a big fan.
That's not what he said.
Paul's still mad about Taco Bell.
Paul, we moved on. It's over, Paul. You lost.
So what are you voting for, McDonald's or Wendy's?
McDonald's.
I don't get why you're anti-Wendy's.
I'm not anti-Wendy's.
You voted for Burger King over it.
Yes, I did, because the Whopper is amazing.
Okay, Christy's voting for McDonald's. Paul is voting for Wendy's. Sean is voting for Wendy's, so it's tied 3-3, which means Kyle's got to break it again. Oh, my. KHG, is it Wendy's or is it McDonald's? Oh my.
Kyle, it's so good to have you here tonight, my friend.
Oh, my. I mean, to me, this is a Final Four matchup. Okay, so he says, I don't eat McDonald's lunch dinner, but I eat a sausage egg McChicken 98% of mornings, 98%. Have you had the Wendy's breakfast Baconator, though? Elite.
They have a breakfast Baconator?
Oh, it is delicious.
Oh, I got to get over to Wendy's for a breakfast.
And they're instead, see, I'm not a huge fan of the hash brown at McDonald's. And Wendy's does like potato wedges.
England McDonald's had this like wrap that had like bacon, sausage, hash brown, and brown sauce all wrapped up in a taco shell. And it was...
You're very English there. You're very English there. Brown sauce.
It was so fantastic.
No beans?
It was so fantastic.
No beans? I've not had Wendy's breakfast at all. None. Highly recommend.
Not in that, no.
And their honey butter or maple butter chicken sandwich is also pretty good too. So does that mean, Kyle, you're voting for McDonald's?
We're tied 3-3.
Wendy's breakfast does slap.
No, that's not what we're talking. We're not talking hamburgers. We're talking best fast food restaurant. That's
as a whole. And you gotta combine the breakfast and the lunch and the dinner.
You gotta combine both of them.
Kyle, are you voting then for McDonald's? Because if you're voting for McDonald's, then we're gonna do it. Oh, see, he's good. Oh man, he says, I love me a Baconator and love me a Biggie Bag. Oh, he's torn. He's torn. He's torn. Oh, he's so torn. He's so torn. Sean says, I did cocaine in a Wendy's bathroom with a naked homeless man. We had fun.
I miss out on everything.
Weren't you the homeless man? You're the one that wants to be naked.
This is the first thing I could think of. I couldn't think of laws. I work in the news department. I couldn't think of anything. I literally wrote a story yesterday on new laws in Illinois.
What do you get sick of writing stories about? Okay, Kyle, we need a vote, or do you just want us to flip the coin? We'll flip the coin if that's what you want.
We flip the coin. You want us to flip? The home team would be McDonald's. So McDonald's would be heads.
Okay.
And Wendy's would be tails if we do flip.
Okay. Are we ready? I think we flip.
Yeah, let's go ahead and flip.
Okay. Alexa, flip a coin.
Okay. Dun dun dun.
Flipping. It's tails.
It's tails. Wendy's.
How did Paul know that before?
Wendy's advances.
Wait, you guys are like pulling something. How did Paul know that Wendy's was going to win before the coin flip?
I don't know what I can say. Wendy's advances and moves on.
Y'all working together on them.
Wendy's eliminates McDonald's.
And finally, Popeyes defeated upsetting In-N-Out.
Not an upset.
14 versus number 3. What do you want from me?
Not an upset.
And in a matchup that Christy is still crying about, Domino's beat Subway, the number 11 team, upsetting the number 6 team. So it's number 14 Popeyes versus number 11 Domino's.
Popeyes. Hands down. Without question.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I like Domino's. I like Domino's a lot. Popeyes is elite, though. Popeyes is elite.
Crazy, man. This has been a great freaking brag. We're going to have to do this more.
Popeyes wins.
These are fun. Popeyes
wins, without question. Of course, John votes for Domino's. John's food taste is questionable. I think we've been different on every single one.
Well, listen, John hating on typical things that everyone likes, that's pretty normal. It's a daily thing in our chats.
Paul is voting for Popeyes. That's 3-1 right now in favor of Popeyes. Kyle is voting for Popeyes. It's over. Popeyes advances 4-1.
Our final 4 matchup for next week. Our final 4 matchup. That we don't vote now because it doesn't matter. You vote now all you want to. It doesn't matter. KFC will take on Taco Bell, which ironically are both owned by the same company, and Wendy's will take on Popeyes.
Oh God!
Big matchups. Join us next week to find out who will move on to the championship. Oh, I love it.
Wendy's Popeyes is a national championship matchup.
That's a big one. That's a big one right there. That is UK versus Duke quality right there.
Gosh, that's tough. My goodness. Ooh. Okay.
All right.
What else do we have, or is it time for picks?
We have autographs today.
Okay.
All right. So before I even pull these up, these are actually, I've done them. This has been one that I've been saving up. I'm glad John's here because John's been upset because we've done baseball ones. I've been waiting for a while, but I've had technical issues, so I haven't been able to do them. Football wide receivers that are in the Hall of Fame. That's easy. Football wide receivers that are in the Hall of Fame. That's what all these autographs are. So all you got to do is tell me whose autograph it is. That's all you got.
Spicy or not spicy, Paul? It depends, but traditionally I'd go not spicy. But I'm okay with spicy every once in a while. It just kind of depends. Are you still there? Hello?
To cooperate today. It's been all right. Hello?
Hello, are you there?
Did you lose me?
Oh, no, I think you might still be there. Are you there or not?
I am here.
Okay. Okay, now we've got this. Oh, this one's easy. Bengals legend here.
Bengals legend.
That's how he's known for.
I even blew it up really big for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So this is just where you have to say what whose autograph this is.
That's all you gotta do is tell me he's a NFL Hall of Fame wide receiver. All three of
Bengals legend, T.O.
Yes, absolutely. Terrell Owens on the win right there. Can I slide over?
You should be able to.
Oh boy, good. It worked. I always get worried.
ISIS paused the stream. Make it harder for crying out loud. Can you make this like any smaller?
I am trying to make it bigger right now. Hold on.
That's what she said.
My computer has decided it did not want to make it bigger.
I was going to say, that is so small.
Give me a second.
Okay, that's at least a little bigger. Okay.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
There we go. I got it.
You gave it some Viagra. We're good now.
It took forever. There we go.
Oh God. I mean, wasn't Michael Irvin 88? I don't think that would be Michael. That doesn't look like it would be Michael Irvin's signature. But then again, Michael Irvin's crazy enough that he could sign something that completely doesn't make sense. That's my guess, but I know it's not right.
What's your guess?
Paul's probably right here.
What do you think?
I'd say Paul's going to say Ricky Pearson. I voted for Michael Irvin, but that's not right. I know it's not.
So according and you know what, Paul makes a good point, but according to what I have, this is Michael Irvin.
Seriously?
Yeah. There's the M. I'm telling you, I will double check it.
No, I'm looking at it. That is how he signs his name. Well, at least he signs it a couple of different ways. So I guess he signs his middle name.
Yep. And that's where you get the weird P or whatever.
Interesting. So I was right, Michael Irvin. Interesting.
Oh, that's not it. So we'll close out of that and we'll see.
Oh, so no, he signs his autograph, Michael Playmaker Irvin. So the P is Playmaker. Interesting. Okay, we got one more, and then we're going to jump into our pick contest for this week, which we really actually don't have anything to truly pick this week because college football next round of the college football playoff will be next week. So I don't really know that we have much to pick at all.
It's not pulling up. Give me a second. I'll try to see if I can get this.
Oh, God, this cold sucks, Leroy.
Hang in there, my friend.
You got it or no?
I do. Give me a second.
Okay. I was going to say, I don't know how much more longer I got.
Yep, I got it. All right, here's number 3.
I got a bottle of NyQuil calling my name.
Oh, I bet that sounds pretty good.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I got nothing on this. I got nothing on this one. I'll leave this one. Join me in the hospital.
You want a hint? I'll give you a hint. You ready? He was more known for his nickname than his actual name. This wide receiver was more known for his nickname than his actual name.
Paul says, John, you're in the hospital every other week. I honestly, this one I don't think I know. Oh, right. Is John right?
I don't have any comments right now.
It's on. Oh wait, you've gone full screen. John guessed Megatron.
Yes, it's Megatron. It's Calvin Johnson.
Kyle got it as well, right at the same time. I can see that now. And 81 makes sense. 81 makes sense. Okay, there we go.
Good deal.
It's time for a pick contest now for this week, right? It's the last thing we have, and there's really not a lot for us to pick.
Horrible.
So we'll open it up here. Leroy, you're the only one that makes this pick. Grayson County travels to Muhlenberg County tomorrow night. 9-3 Muhlenberg County, 10-2 Grayson County. It is a top 5 region matchup on the road in Greenville. Who you got?
It's on the road.
It is.
Muhlenberg.
Leroy's taking Muhlenberg County in that matchup. What is our Taylorville matchup of the week? John's pick of the Cougs. Not that it matters, but I think John just likes taking Cougs.
The 8-6 Taylorville Tornadoes come off a 5th place tournament and take on the Springfield Senators, who are 6-8. So 8-6 Taylorville versus 6-8 Springfield. That game is in Taylorville. We are home for the first time since November.
Taylorville hosts Springfield. America, you get to make the pick on this game as well. So leave your pick, whether you're picking Taylorville or Springfield in the game Leroy is broadcasting coming up. I'm going to go with the homestanding Nados. I'm going to take Tornadoes of Taylorville on when is that game?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Okay, so we both have games tomorrow night. Do you want to switch and I can be at home and you can go on the road tomorrow?
Bro, I've been on the road for a month, and I know high school doesn't matter because we get to go home at night. It's still a ridiculously long time to be on the road. Sam, you know as well as I do, man.
No, I do. Yeah, no,
Those
we've had one home game in the last month,
those
so
long
I feel
road
that.
streaks just kill you.
John is taking Taylorville. Paul wants to ask John if there are any Cougs walking around the hospital. There might be. There might be.
He's got nurses, man.
Listen, hey, not much better than that.
So you're going with Tornadoes?
I am. I picked Taylorville. Paul is taking Springfield though, so we might have to go to a coin flip on this.
Oh,
I think we do. So Taylorville is the home team, so that means they're heads. Alexa. Oh, that's John. Too much information. Alexa, flip a coin.
Okay. Heads.
Taylorville is America's pick. Heads was the land on this one. Rivalry week in the NFL. The Cincinnati Bengals travel to the city near West Virginia on Saturday night because they can't do something friendly to me. So please, no one send me any updates from the Bengals game on Saturday night. Because
what scenario do you guys need to make it?
Win, Chiefs beat the Broncos, and the Jets beat the Dolphins, and then the Bengals are in.
Chiefs are resting all their starters, though.
Yeah, but the Broncos have lost 17 of 18 to the Broncos.
Oh. Broncos have lost 17 of 18 to the Broncos? That's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm sick.
Boy, you are sick.
Do you not hear my cow, dude? As this goes along, I keep getting snottier and snottier and snottier. I need to blow my nose. That's one of the reasons why I'm saying that we're gonna have to. That and like it's allergies now, so I'm about to go take a. No, we've got like 5 minutes left. I can power through.
All right.
Mama didn't raise no. As long as I don't get like a bloody nose or something like I had this morning, then we're okay. I know this doesn't surprise you, but I'm falling apart. John's taking the Bengals. Leader, you know I can't not.
I love that you're falling apart. One of us. One of us. One of us.
I mean, I've been falling apart for the last decade. Let's be real. John is taking the Bengals.
Paul says miracle like Jesus Christ is what it will take.
Did anybody freaking ask you? Okay.
He needs a little help.
Yeah, I need more than a little help. Let's be real. What do you got? Bengals or Steelers?
Bengals, please.
Yes, because then we'll be able to talk. And listen, there is no bigger fan of the city near West Virginia, the Dolphins, and the Broncos this week than the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
Because if the Bengals make the playoffs, Josh Allen has to host Joe Burrow next week. They don't want any part of that. No. They don't want any part of that. Yeah, John, I appreciated you getting eliminated by the Giants because that kept the Bengals' hopes alive. That made me feel very nice. Joe Flacco couldn't save you there. Looks like the Bengals is going to be America's pick since no one else has dropped in a pick for this. The Bears play the Packers. Oh, wait. Paul came in with a Steelers pick. So that means we're actually going to have to flip a coin. So heads is Steelers, tails is Bengals.
Yep.
Alexa, flip a coin. Alexa, flip a coin.
Okay. Tails.
Tails. Good job, Alexa. Good job, Alexa. So Alexa is picking the Bengals. So Bengals is America's pick.
How did we lose to Penn State? Good grief.
I'm picking the Packers. I assume you're picking the Packers too, right?
Can I pick them without saying them?
No.
Well, I'm not.
Go. So you're picking the Bears.
Fine.
Are you going to?
But I will not say that team's name. I will not.
You just did when you guessed their city correctly in their school.
I I did not say their name. I said Green Bay. Big difference.
So are you taking Green Bay?
I am.
Taking which? I'm just trying to clarify this.
In the words of Sam Gormley, the team from up north.
So both of those teams are up north for me.
The farther team up north.
No, they're both pretty far up north. Okay, so you're taking the Packers. Will Caleb have at least 150 yards this week? Paul wants to know.
I hope so, my friend.
I'm just going to go ahead and pick the Packers. And Leroy, that's all of the picks we have for this week because...
Is that it?
I mean...
Can we throw in a couple more?
But there's really barely any college left. So how about we each pick one NFL game?
Can we please pick one NFL game?
Next week is when we'll pick the final four of the college football playoff.
That's fine.
See,
that's fine.
Next week's going to be a big week because and that's where I'm almost like, do we make this an easy week? Because we'll have 2 college football games, and
it feels naked.
We'll have We'll have all of the NFL playoff games.
Do Saints at Buccaneers.
God.
Exactly. That's why I'm doing it.
Okay, Saints at Buccaneers, and then I guess we have to pick Vikings Lions, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we have Saints
at Buccaneers and Vikings at Detroit.
Okay, so those will be our 2 picks of the week. So America, you have to do those 2 and pick those in the comment section below.
Boy, why do they make rivalry week this week? All of these are big rivalries.
Because they're hoping to have divisional matchups like the Lions Vikings.
All they got was Vikings Lions. There's no other big ones, are there?
I mean, Bengals Steelers is a little bit to play for.
Do Seahawks Rams have to fight for a division title?
No, Rams already have it.
Rams already have it.
Rams already have it. I'm going to take the Lions and the Bucks.
Yeah, I'm with you, Sam. I'm going to do the same thing.
And I'm assuming that's what will be America's picks for those as well, unless Paul wants to take the Vikings and make things a little bit interesting. Oh, Paul is going to take the Vikings for this to make things at least somewhat interesting in that scenario. Since the game is in Detroit, though, it's going to be tough to not pick them. Kyle's taking the Bucks, and Kyle is also taking the Vikings. So Vikings is America's pick for that game. All righty. That will pretty much do us for this week. On next week's show, we will talk Final Four college football playoff and NFL playoffs. Because the NFL playoffs will be set 1 week from today. We'll be able to break. Well, actually, we'll be back on Wednesdays next week too, right? I think we are.
Yes, back next week's regular schedule.
God willing, that is. God willing, that is. As long as this cold doesn't.
Sand doesn't die.
This cold doesn't. I mean, let's be real. It's not just me. You are getting up there, Mr. Immortal.
Don't you need to quit at like halftime or something?
I mean, I almost thought about that today, but then I realized that my teammates would actually complain if I did, unlike a true teammate who would support me for riding off into the sunset.
Don't you start with me, Gormley.
Have a good night. We'll see you next week.
Happy New Year. Thanks, everyone.